Oh, là, tu
Boom.
m'entends?
Yes, sir. We
Ok,
live.
parfait. Here, how are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Thanks for being here today.
Thanks to you. Thanks to you. I'm happy to be here and to talk about a lot of stuff.
Yeah, we have a lot of stuff to talk about. Um, let's just dive into the stuff right now. Hello everyone. If you're watching this live, we also real humans. Nothing is made with AI in this session
Wait,
today. So we'll give you real stories, real numbers, real tricks. Welcome to the Startup Kitchen Show. I'm Riley, the amazing advisor, and today I have the honor to have a super inspiring guy. I recently, you guys are gonna hate me because he's also francophone, and I don't know how I end up inviting a lot of francophones on the show. That's not my fault. That's just how I meet people. But he has an amazing story. He has a really cool business inspiration, and I want to share this with my audience today. But we are also live on his platform. So, guys, let us know that you're here in the comments. If you have any questions, we'll take some questions from you all. We want to make sure that you are learning something today and unblocking whatever walls that you have with your business or your SaaS today. Let's get started. Can I call you Ultimate Dev?
you can. It's for me. The name seems a bit less nice in English than French, but yeah, it's you can still say it.
Okay, okay. So I'll call you the ultimate diff. So this show, I call this show the Startup Kitchen Show. And the reason why I do so is because every time I'm explaining business or startup, I love to use food as metaphors. And so I
Okay.
thought, let me just name the show like this. And the question I ask all my guests, very first question is, what is your favorite dish?
Whoa, that's a very hard question because I love like various dishes. Like I would say if I really have to choose, it's between two dishes. One would be chicken, fried chicken and plantain, like fried plantain and yeah, and chicken, or ramen. One of both.
Okay, you interesting you say that because I'm a big chicken lover. What kind of chicken? Is it more karage Japanese style, or American style, or African style fried chicken?
With the plantain, I would say more like African style, but actually any kind of chicken, I love it. Like karage for me is one of the best type of chicken in the world. Like I love it. Like every type of karage. Like in Japan, I've tasted so many different types of karage with garlic, with pepper, whatever. It's amazing. It's amazing, man. I love it.
Yeah, I'm 100% on you on this. Something we have in common as well. Chicken is love, and fried chicken is love with cream on
Crazy.
top. I love it. I love it. what is what is that one ingredients that you'll have in your fried chicken or ramen that really makes it special?
I would say okay, because I'm a kind of like a big lover of karage. I would say there's one time where I made my own karage at home with like very, I would say, unusual method where I would take like some crisps. I think it was probably at the time some Doritos or something similar, and I would make the crust of the chicken with the Doritos, and that one was amazing. So like chicken breast or chicken thigh that you marinate inside some mirin or mirin. I don't know how to say it in English, but yeah, the Japanese
Yeah, mirin sauce.
vinegar
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of thing. Yeah, mirin sauce. You dip it there. You put some spice. You put like you put the Doritos crisps and everything, and it's crazy good, crazy good.
Yeah. So so people are asking you if this stream is surprise. Yes, it's a surprise
Yeah,
stream.
yeah. Surprise, surprise stream.
Absolutely surprise stream. Surprise, surprise. Love it. Karage. Okay, with Doritos, that's definitely something interesting to try out. So why I'm talking about dish, recipe, it's because this is exactly what I want to do with you today. But talking about business, SaaS, and entrepreneurship, I want to see if you can share with us what's your favorite recipe for building a SaaS, what kind of ingredients you like to put to make sure that when you cook it, people like it and people pay for it. So that was like my way to introduce that.
So I will use the same kind of way to answer. For me, let's say this. Let's say you're in your living room, just like I am right now, and you have some guests coming in, and you're making some food for them. For me, you wouldn't be thinking of, oh, is there one secret, like one secret dish that my guests will love? Doesn't work because it actually depends on the guests, right? If you have like a vegetarian guests, like you're not gonna make some karage chicken, it's not gonna work. They're vegetarian. If you have like maybe some guests who like spicy food, you're not gonna make something very like dull and tasteless for them. And the reverse is right. If you have people who don't like spicy food, you're not gonna make some heavy spicy whatever dish for them. So for me, creating a SaaS is in the same way. When you create your SaaS, the way you're gonna promote it, the way you're gonna build it, actually depends on the target. Like you need to know, like my first principle is know your target. Who are you talking to? Who are you building for? And you have to think, you have to be obsessed with them and to think about everything about them. So the first thing I would say is first you know your target, and then you be thinking like, okay, where does my target hang out? For example, I like this kitchen thing because I often use also this example is that let's say you want to build like a shop where you sell meats and you want to promote your shop, like a butcher. You're not going to go in a neighborhood where there's only vegans and be saying, hey, I opened a butcher shop, like a meat shop, come and see. There's only vegans there, right? So you want to go where you know people eat meats. Maybe you want to go to like a gym because in the gym, people need protein. So a lot of them eat meat. Not all of them, of course, you can get protein elsewhere, but a lot of them eat meat. So you will go there. So for me, a SaaS is the same thing. Is your SaaS target B2B? Is it B2C? If it's B2B, is it like an indie B2B or is it like a big company B2B? If it's a big company, maybe you go on LinkedIn, maybe you go to events. If it's like indie people, maybe you go on Twitter, maybe you go on Instagram. If it's B2C and you need to reach like a very massive audience, maybe you want to do some ads. So everything depends on the target. You need to know who you're talking to, and depending on that, you do some different kind of stuff.
I love it. 100% agree with you. And I think it's a perfect introduction to the conversation we're going to have. But before we dive into the recipe, the ingredients, and stuff like that, I want to do it just like I want to rewind everything and go back to your origin story. Because some of the people who are watching from my audience, they have no idea who you are, and so they want to know who is it that they're listening to, and where did this all started. And you can go as far as you want.
As far as I oh man, if we go very very far, it's gonna take hours, but I'll try to give like the best I can. So basically, for example, first, one of the reasons I speak English, I mean, I think I speak English pretty well, but I mean, depending who is listening, but
Now your
pretty well.
English is
So one of the
amazing.
first
I mean, we
one of
two
the first
French, we
reasons,
two French talking English right now. So
yeah, exactly. So one of the first reasons is that I lived until high school. I actually lived half of my time in France and half of my time in Benin. And so Benin is a French country, like French speaking country in Africa. And in Benin, funny enough, I actually didn't go to French school. I went to a Nigerian school, so I spoke English half of my life before high school. So that's why I speak English like this, and that's why I would say pretty fluent. I think I lost a lot of my English throughout the years because when I came back to France fully, like permanently, I went to French high school and that was it. So what happened was this: just before entering high school, when I came back to France, I was actually in my house. I was bored, and I was just like watching anime. I don't know if people can see it, but like I have a One Piece T-shirt here. I'm a big fan of anime, of Japanese mangas and stuff like that. Yeah, crazy. Akira Toriyama, right?
yeah,
And so I love it. So what happened was I was watching anime all the time. I had my first computer at home. I was like 15 years old. I was entering in first year of high school, and I was bored watching anime. And I thought to myself, how does a streaming website work? How can I create my own streaming website about animes? So I started typing on Google. I found some softwares like for people who are old enough. I used like Dreamweaver. I used FrontPage. I used like a bunch of software, like visual softwares, to create my websites. And then what happened was at some point, I was not happy enough with the result. So I started talking to people like, hey, how did you create your own website? And one guy just told me, I used code. I was like, what is coding? What is code? What's he talking about? Because in French, when we say code, we are talking about what you have to learn to, pass the driving license. We call it the code. So when he told me that, I was like, wait, is he telling me to learn how to drive to create a website? Doesn't make any sense. And then I was like, okay, you know what is it? So I told him like, what is it? Can you tell me more? He just gave me a tutorial to a website called at the time Site du Zéro, which means like a website starting from zero. Like it's kind of like the book blah blah XYZ for dummies. So Site du Zéro was like this kind of stuff. So he sent me to that website. Yeah.
So the founder of the Site du Zero was my teacher at university because we
Oh
come from
really?
the same. We came from the same university. I remember like when I was doing web programming, he was my teacher, and he basically entered the room and he said, "Okay, guys, just open the website and just follow the tutorial. I'm just gonna. If you have any questions, I'm here."
Wait, the school was Ecte, right?
No, it was Effray.
Efre. Okay, it was
Yeah,
Efre. Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Because yeah, there was the two schools. Okay, yeah, crazy man, crazy. So this guy, thanks to like Matthew, his name is Matthew. Thanks to him, like I love him. I mean, I don't know him like personally, but I love him just for that because so the guy who sent me the website sent me to his website. I went to the website and I just started learning HTML, CSS, and then after like 3 weeks, I was like, okay, I made great websites, but all of them are static. I don't understand. Like I have to copy paste everything. So I went to ask the guy who I asked the first time, hey, you have like 1,000 pages. How did you do? Like are you like copy pasting every pages yourself? And he was like, no, I just learned other languages called PHP and SQL, MySQL. So I went to learn those, and that was it. So I spent like my 2 months of summer just before entering high school, just learning how to code on my own every day. Like my days were like learning how to code, eating, watching animes, and that was it for 2 months. So that's actually what made me enter like the tech scene, I would say, at first. But mostly why I'm talking about this is that that was probably one of the first break in my life where I was thinking, okay, what I love to do is creating stuff. I love creating stuff. Like I love having an idea and using any kind of tool I have and create stuff with that tool. So that's how I started it. Then what happened was I entered high school, so I forgot about coding for maybe like 3 years because I had to focus on high school. And after high school, the only job that felt natural to me was to go into like tech. So I did like a bachelor degree where I learned like more coding, design, and that was pretty much it. And like project management. And right after that, I started freelancing. Actually, during my studies, actually, as a student, maybe like third year, I started freelancing because I realized that's what I like. I just like doing stuff for myself, working for myself. So I started freelancing. And then after freelancing, I mean, after the school, I went full-time freelancing. I went to live in England, to London specifically, and I saw all the startup scene there. It was crazy. I was like, that's a crazy city. I loved it. I actually wanted to stay there like maybe a few years, but just the weather is shit. So I left. Yeah, London's weather is really, really shit. So I left and I just continued like my freelancing job for a few years while creating like side projects. One of my biggest side projects actually on the side was like not it was not like monetized. It was just like a personal project. I made it in 2017. Actually, there were two. One was called Must See. It's like a Chrome extension. It's not working anymore, but you can still find the Chrome extension online. It's like just a new tab opener. Like when you open your tab, you see like a landscape of a crazy city, crazy landscape. Like a something where you would dream to go. And the goal was to make people travel, even though they're on their laptop. Like traveling when you're at work, you open the tab. Whoa, I'm traveling, my life is so much better now, and then you go back to work. So that was crazy, and it worked pretty much. We had like I think at our peak we had around 11,000 downloads of the extension, so it was really crazy. We had like per year we had probably more than like 2 million tabs opened per year or something. It was really, really crazy for some time. It was not monetized at all. It was really like a patient project with some of my friends. And then the second project, who worked pretty well, was also in English, which was called Foreign Rap. It was like a website to show rap music of the whole world except the US. That's why it was called Foreign Rap, because from the point of view of the US, it's foreign. So yeah, so that was pretty much it. And after those personal projects, I started to do my own SaaS, and yeah, that was it. I started like with some of my friends, making some stuff, trying to monetize some stuff, and that's how it's all started.
I love that. We have a lot of similarities in our story. I want to dive a bit into that. What made you jump into freelancing right away after university as opposed to getting a normal job?
So basically, uh, what happened was when I was 15, like I said, and I learned programming, there was already some kind of spark in me where I was like, okay, I love creating stuff, but I love to decide what I want to create. I don't want someone else to tell me something. And high school only made that even worse because in high school there was so much hierarchy, and I hated hierarchy. I hated having people telling me what to do when, and blah blah blah. So during during college, what happened was first in my head, because of my parents, because of everything, I thought I was going to get like a regular 9 to 5. But then I started freelancing on the side, doing like a small gigs, and I loved it. And actually, in France, we have something called, I don't know how's the proper way to translate it. So I'll just say something like this. We have some kind of long internship that you can start very early. So what happened was my first year was with no internship. Like I did the whole first year. Maybe I did like a small internship of 1 month or something. But then in second year, you do like half half. So you do like half of the month you go to school, half of the month you go to your internship. So it's like an internship throughout the whole year. So I did that 2 years, the two last years of my bachelor degree. And what happened was at the end of the bachelor degree, my employer said, "Hey, you know what? I'm going to close the company. I don't want to continue. So if you're going full time freelancer, I can give you like a free, like a few, how they call that, like a few customers. A few customers. Like I'll give you like 2 or 3 customers, and you can go from there if you want to." So I was like, you know what? It's a great idea. Maybe that's my sign to really go all in, because during that internship, someone in the comments said alternance. So the French word is alternance, but in English, alternance doesn't mean anything. It means like alterning, but it doesn't really mean anything. So yes, we would say it's some kind of alterning internship. So what happened was during that internship, I would come late all the time. Like I'm a guy who falls sick a lot and I wake up very late. So I would come late so much. At some point, the latest I came was like 3 p.m. I came to work at 3 p.m. and my employer was like, why do we, he even told me something like, why do you even bother to come? Just don't come. It's better. It's easier. And then, but he liked me a lot because even though I came late, I would always stay late. So he'll be like, he does for him. He was kind of like a English mentality because he lived in London also pretty much. And in London, there's not this strict hours thing like in France. France is very strict about hours in most jobs, but in England it's very different. So he had that mentality. So he was like, as long as you do the job, I don't really care what time you come, you know. So I realized through that internship that he was a nice person, so I could stay there, but it wouldn't work in a regular 9 to 5. It's not something that could work in most companies. So I thought, okay, you know what? Maybe my thing is just to go all in and work for myself. So that's why I really realized with those two things, these three things, the spark that was in me when I started coding myself, my own projects, the fact that I'm a very bad employee, like I'm a very bad employee. I'm not good as an employee. The concept of employee, I'm very bad at that. I cannot take orders. I wake up late. I'm always sick. So very bad employee. And the fact that he told me he's closing the company was kind of a sign to say, okay, you know what? You were planning to stay maybe with him 1 more year, as your main job. But if he's closing, maybe it's time to just try out yourself and see how it goes. So that was pretty much it.
Yeah. Wow. I love it. I love it. Again, I connect with a lot of things that you're saying. Um yeah, it's like the 9 to 5 world is really designed for a specific kind of people, and
Yeah,
it's not saying they're better or worse than us, right? It's just like in code we say you're a variable, like don't try to use a string when you need a float, right? It's
exactly.
it's the kind of same thing. It's like you forcing a square into a triangle and it makes no sense, right?
For me, like what you said is absolutely right. And that's what I often say on Twitter. On Twitter, I often say to people, like, there's no right or wrong, there's no worse or better in absolutes. It's only relative to everyone. So, and it's subjective to everyone. For me, like being an employee is the worst thing ever. Because for me, the way I live, the way I am, doesn't work with me. And for others, being a freelancer, being an entrepreneur doesn't work either. So for me, it's just find the thing that works for yourself, and that's it.
Mm,
Some people are crazy happy in the 9 to 5, and at the same time, some people are really, living their worst life in the 9 to 5. Not because it's a 9 to 5 in absolutes. It's just
mm,
because it's a 9 to 5, and they don't like 9 to 5s. You see. So
mm.
for me, it's just about finding what you like. Like you said, don't try to put a square in a circle or a triangle. It doesn't work. Try to find where you fit in, and just try to, I would even say, if I wanted to be kind of a philosopher, I would say try to find what's your own shape, and when you find your shape, try to find where you can fit that shape. That's the most
Absolutely.
important.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a more of a puzzle piece situation than just triangles and stuff. I'm super curious. Um, do you come from a family or surrounding of entrepreneurs?
Not really. I would say it depends how you see, but I would say mostly not. So
Okay.
I come from a family where there's mostly women. Like, so I lived my whole life with only my mom, single mom, and I have two sisters. So only women in my family, and I have like six aunts. So, and so I have like really, really mostly women around me, and even
Okay.
my grandparents. I mostly hung out with my grandma, not really my grandpa.
Okay.
Like, so I almost only had women around me, and most of them were employees. The only two entrepreneurs around me were like my grandma. My grandma had like a small market in Benin for almost her whole life. I think since, at least since I'm born and I know her, her whole life she had been just selling stuff at the market. So she was kind of an entrepreneur, we could say. Like, and my mom was an employee her whole life, so not really like an entrepreneur per se. So not really. I think what made me go that way is not really what was around me, just the fact that I realized I don't fit in the, I would say, the classic picture and ideal life people have. Even
Yeah.
like doing 5 years in school, because in France to do a master degree you need to do only 5 years. I know in the US some of them is like 6 years because you have like 4 years of undergraduate. In France it's 5 years for us. It's like 3 years of undergraduate and then 2 years to graduate your master degree. Even this was like too much for me. Like I only did 3 years because I didn't fit in. So I think it's more about, I realized it would be hard for me to fit somewhere. So I just tried to find what fits the most. To be honest, for example, when I did my high school, what we call the BAC, which is like, I don't know the US version. I know they have to do like the, how they call that, the, in US they have something where they need to have like some kind of score at the end of the year. But in French we have like a final test that we call BAC. So when I did this final test, I was not even sure I was going to get it. I was like, you know what? If I don't get that, probably I'll just become a cook. I have one uncle, so I have six aunts and one uncle. My uncle was a cook, and I was like, you know what? Maybe being a cook is what works for me. Like I like cooking, and when you're a cook, you can actually at some point create your own restaurant. So you'll be free to be a hard life, but you'll be free. You'll be like independent. So I was like, okay, maybe that's what's better for me. So I think ultimately my goal was just to find something where people like, people don't mind that you do your own stuff, that you can, let's say, express your creativity in some way.
No, I love this. I love this. It's so funny that you mentioned the cooks. I had a bit of a similar experience when before so the year before going to university, my dad, I had a dad, and he basically said he didn't know I was going for software engineering, and he said, "You good at cooking? Maybe you should consider going to a cooking school and just become a chef." I was like, okay, cool, Dad. Let me just try one thing. If it doesn't work, I'll go and pull this way. So yeah, interesting. No, so the reason why I was asking you this about the surrounding and stuff like that is, I think there's a false premise in builders thinking you need to come from an entrepreneurial background in order to
Mm.
succeed as an entrepreneur, and the vast majority of my guests don't come from a background of entrepreneurship, so they were the black sheep the black sheep in the pack, just like I did. And it's always interesting to see how did you handle the social pressure, or the family, the friends who are entrepreneurs and are looking at you weird, right? Like, why is he doing this? Why is he taking so many risks? Why is he not just following the easy path?
I think it's funny you say that, and it's funny you ask that, because actually today like, I have a TikTok account and IG account, and actually my video today was somehow about that. For me, as far as I remember, what people think of me when I'm not physically there, I don't really care. Like I have a like I'm a maybe people don't know, but I'm a kind of a shy person actually. I don't look like a shy person. I can go to parties, whatever, but I'm still a kind of a shy person. So when something happens like to me physically and I get embarrassed physically, like in front of people, I'll be feeling bad because of people's judgment, because it's let's say because it's real. Let's say it like that. It's IRL, you know. But if I do stuff online and people judge me for stuff I do online, I don't really care, because when they're judging, I'm not there. And even when I meet them and they say, "Hey, I saw you doing videos, or why you freelancing, or what," I'll just be like, "Yeah, because I like it." And that's pretty much it. So I never really cared about what people think of stuff I do when people are in front of me. So that's, I would say, the biggest strength is just to not care about what people think. Do your thing. They're not there. And people's memory is short. They'll forget early enough about what you did. If it doesn't work, or if it works, which is worse, they will come back and say, "Hey, I always knew you would, I always knew you would make it, blah blah blah." So for me, the whole goal is about trying to know yourself and trying to find a way that works for yourself, and that's pretty much it. Like if I have to take, like, for example, something in traditional families, in traditional families, there's something where at some point parents will always want their kids to live a certain type of life. And what I would tell my friends who are in that situation would be, the thing is, if you live your parents the life your parents want to, when you will have kids, what are you going to do? Are you going to pass on to them the same thing and say, "I want you to live like me," or are you going to tell your kids, "Okay, live the life you want, but then you were the one who missed out because your parents lived the life they wanted and forced you to live the life they wanted, and your kids are going to live the life they want because you accepted them to do it. So you didn't live the life you wanted." Someone has to break the cycle at some point. So for me, just try to find what makes you happy and just live it. So the judgment of others, at least on that, on freelancing and stuff like that, didn't really affect me that much. What affected me the most is that as a freelancer, what happened was I don't have regular hours. So because I don't have regular hours, sometimes I would be free in the middle of the day and I would be like, "Hey, are you free to do this?" And people were like, "Bro, I'm working." And I would be like, "Yeah, okay, okay, no problem." And sometimes I feel like people, blame you for you just asking them a question like, "Hey, are you free?" Like, you can just say, "No, I'm not free, I'm working," and that's it. But sometimes, like, I feel there's some underlying jealousy sometimes, just sometimes, in some people, and they will like project it onto you and be like, "Hey, he doesn't even like care about me having a work, having a job, whatever." I mean, yeah, you could have a job and still be free because you're remote or whatever. I don't know your whole life. I just ask you a question, you can just say that's it. So I think the hardest thing was more of that, was having a social life that makes sense because you are not living the same social life as other people. But it was never really like a big issue for me. Yeah, I would say. And to come back on something you said, the premise is that you need to be like in the family of entrepreneur or whatever to start making a business or something. I definitely think is like everything in life. Of course, if you have a dad or a mom who's been like a football professional player, it's easier for you to ask stuff to become a football player professionally. But it doesn't mean that if in your family no one played football, you're going to be a football player. You see what I mean? So for me, entrepreneurship is the same. Of course, people who were in an entrepreneur family, it makes things kind of easier for them because they have the ecosystem to ask stuff, and they also probably saw stuff. That's true, but doesn't mean that when you don't have it, you cannot do it. You can still do it. It's about what you want to learn. It's about the path you want to take, and you don't choose your family, but you choose who you can hang out with. So the whole goal is that when you want to achieve something now, you need to start choosing who you want to hang out with, learn stuff, and that's it. Like, you cannot say, "I want to become an entrepreneur, I want to create SaaS," and then you never go to, I don't know, like software events, startup events, whatever. Like I literally went to live in England, and when I was there, I went to every possible event I could because I really wanted to know how startups work. So that's what I did. Oh, your mic is off. Your mic is turned off.
My bad. And I was saying, is this perfect transition to the next segment of this conversation, diving a bit more into the SaaS world, and what we can learn from you. Because it's an important part. I'm just gonna switch my glass to fit more this context.
Okay, you know what? Me too. Me too. Wait, give me a minute.
Flip this.
Okay, let's go serious mode.
Perfect. Serious mode. I love it. I was not expecting. I was not expecting you to react like that.
Let's go serious mode.
Serious mode. Okay. SaaS world. Uh, First of all, can you bring us up to speed onto what is it that you are what is it that you've already built? What's out there today? Situation.
So basically, overall, I would just consider, I would say, serious projects. Overall, I've built now around 10 SaaS. Around all of them, there's only one that really like skyrockets, which is called TCZ. It's like an LMS. An LMS is like some kind of CMS, but for the e-learning space. That's pretty much it. So like an admin panel to create e-learning content. So that's my main product, and that one skyrocketed. As in, I can live out of it. I've made like more than $2 million now LTR, so the lifetime revenue, and it's been going pretty well. I started it like 5 years ago, almost 6 years ago now. So 5 years ago, we are around 60K MRR, I think, and that's pretty much it. So this one was the biggest, and it's a good thing that I'm saying that because I want people to see that 10 projects only one skyrocketed because it's a game of numbers. It's a game of numbers of trying out stuff, and it's also a game of how could I say putting effort. This SaaS is actually the one where I put the most effort. And like when I mean the most effort doesn't necessarily mean like the most time. It actually is also the most time in this case, but it doesn't mean the most time. It means the most thought into it and the most dedication. And that's why all the others, I'm 100% sure. Okay, you know what? Let me just leave 1% of chance. I'm 99% sure that if I had put as much dedication in the others, in one of the others would have blown up too at some point in a way because it's about the time you put. All the other ones, I didn't put that much time. But let's go back a bit. So basically, what happened in my official SaaS journey is that I started like testing stuff around 2018, and in 2019, crazy story happened. So I had like a training business. So I would go into companies and do training, like train developers, train people, a bunch of stuff. And at some point, we wanted to open like a marketing branch. So more like a marketing training and e-commerce training, where we would be the company, but we would just like mostly hire external teachers. So I had one friend who was really, really good in e-commerce. So I wanted him to do that. I called him, hey man, are you available? He was like, no, I'm not available these days. But my cousin is, and my cousin works with me a lot. So me and his cousin met just to see if there's, like a good feeling and everything, like if we fit. And then what happened was his cousin told me, hey, so you're a programmer, right? So
Wait.
how long?
This
Yeah,
story
tell me,
is
tell me.
this story is gonna end badly, right?
No, it's gonna end good. It's gonna
Uh,
end good.
okay.
It's the premises. This story is like the premises of even the genesis of my first SaaS that worked. So that's
Okay,
this
I love
crazy
it.
story.
Wait, I need to be even more
So
focused. Let me just switch to even more serious glasses.
I have even more, but let's keep it up to two for now. So what happened was, so this guy, his cousin came. We started talking about a bunch of stuff, and then he asked me like, okay, so you're a programmer. How long would it take to create a small app that can read like a zip file? And in the zip file, there's like some JSON file. So I was like, guy, this is not enough information for me to tell you, but okay, let's say what you say is very simple, just a web page, you put a zip, I read what's in the zip and I show it. 4 hours. He was like, and that was 2019. I want to be precise on the dates, 2019, which means no AI. So the guy was like shocked in the non-AI world. Just for people to remember, 2022 is when ChatGPT came out, 2022 November. So when coding stuff started to come out, it was around 2023 or even almost 24 when it was pretty big. So 2019, there's none of that. So he was shocked that I would say it takes me only 4 hours to do. I told him, yeah, because it's what you told me is really, really basic. Let's go in detail. Then he said he asked a friend of his to make it. It's been like 2 months and it's not done. So I said, okay, there's only three reasons. Either your friend doesn't want to do it, he doesn't want to tell you. Either your friend is pretty bad at coding. Either there's something you are not telling me. So I said, okay, so tell me the full idea. So I'm not going to reveal the exact idea here because there are some law issues around it, let's say. But basically, he found a way to get some GDPR data from some very famous app. An app all of you here know. Everyone looking at this live know the app I'm talking about. Okay, you're teasing me here, so I'm going to bring another one.
Hey, Wild Glasses, drop your questions in the chat if you ever want to interact with us.
So basically, what happened is this: he told me more. So he found a way to get some GDPR data to read GDPR data. So basically, what happened is, let's say this app was StreamYard, where we're streaming actually, and you want to get some data out of StreamYard, but when StreamYard gives you the data, it's only JSON, and you as a regular person, you don't know what JSON is. Okay, so he wanted me to create a reader where people would put their zip, I would read it and just show it in a better way. That was it. I made the app in exactly 4 hours, the first version. I sent it to him. He was like, man, that's crazy. That's amazing. And then I said, okay, now give me like the design and let's make the real app. Because what I made in 4 hours was just like, the skeleton of the app. Yeah. So he was like, that's crazy. So then it took me, I blew him away. So then it took me around 3 days. Then it took me around 3 days to make like the full app. We added, there was no like, for people who know a bit, front end, back end, there was like no back end at all, only front end. For those who want to know the stack, I used Vue.js, local storage. So everything was locally done and nothing else. Stripe for the payments. That's it. After 3 days of build, what we did was this for the marketing. So guys, listen up. If you want to see marketing strategies, listen up. First, how did he get the idea? He went to some like tools to check like keywords, keyword volumes. That's how he got the idea. Like he found the idea. He went on something called like I forgot the one he used at the time, but you can use Uber Suggests. You can use Google Keyword Planner. You can use what's the most famous one? Ahref. So anything you want to check keywords volume. So the keyword volume we found was something like how to recover blah 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 XYZ. How to recover XYZ. It was around probably at the time 20K research per month. So we were like, okay, people are searching this. So because people are searching this, the best way to appear for people searching this is ads. Okay, ads and SEO. So he had a strategy where he would say, we're going to make some ads on these exact keywords and bring people to the website. As simple as this. And to have like free SEO, we're going to make a YouTube video where you do YouTube SEO, which means the whole query people are searching, you're going to put it as a title and you're going to do a very good description. So after building it, which was almost free to build, we only bought a domain name and I already had a server, so I put it on one of my servers. So almost only that. Then he made a video, like he made a tutorial video on how to use it. Then we sent it on Fiverr. He hired a guy on Fiverr, like a US guy, to make like the voiceover in English. So we had two videos now. We had the video he made in French and the same video with another voiceover in English. That's pretty much it. Now that video, both of them, we put them on YouTube with the SEO keywords, with the research people are typing online to try to find it. And because YouTube is the second most search, engine in the world, so it blew up. So what happened was this: we started the ads, we did that. Ads started bringing people, sales started to come. Like we were doing like around one to two sales per day at first. So, only small, one to two sales per day, which is pretty good. It was €5. You pay €5 and you can unlock the reading. That was pretty much it. And then at some point, YouTube started to skyrocket. The English version started to skyrocket. The most important thing here I did, except the building, and he did the marketing, except the building, was one thing. One important thing people forget when they start launching a SaaS or a product. It's analytics. I added a bunch of analytics to know what people were doing and how they were reacting. For example, I would see how many people upload the zip and actually waited until the zip is read, fully done. Because that would let me know, okay, do I do the thing correctly? Is it buggy? Is it too long? Are people going off because they're waiting too long? Whatever. So what I realized after like maybe 2 months was that some people would put the zip, finish it, go to payment, click on payment, and not pay. So, but they would click on pay and they would not pay. So I was like, what's the reason? And I could only see that because of my analytics. I would see that someone clicked on buy now and that do nothing. So I was thinking, okay, who's the demographics? So I discovered that maybe there's a kind of people who are young and don't have like a credit card, but they use PayPal because it was done in English. It was worldwide. So we have people from everywhere, like France, US, India, whatever. So a lot of people use PayPal. So I just added PayPal. And when we added PayPal, money doubled, like really doubled. Like we started making, I think at our peak, we were making with that small micro SaaS built in only 3 days, we started making at the peak 1,500 per day doing nothing. Like we were literally doing nothing because after he started putting the ads and the video blew up, he actually stopped the ads because he said, you know what? We're already profitable with only YouTube. So there's no need to have the ads. So he stopped the ads. And then we did almost nothing for like 6 months. Like for 6 months, nothing. And then after 6 months, what happened was I started looking at the analytics again, and I saw a lot of people like started to upload but didn't go through. So I tried to know why, and fortunately, I added some analytics on the number of JSON they had. And what happened was some people started to put JSON that were so big that the browser would crash. So I had to find a way to like cut it and not read everything. So I made an update, and overall, this project lasted around 1 year and a half. We made around a bit less than 75k euro. So we shared each like 35 each, and it was almost 95% profit because we had 95% profit because we had no server. My server was like a free server for front end, and we had only a domain name, and we paid ads only like 2 or 3 weeks.
2 or 3 weeks of ads. Okay.
Yeah, only 2 or 3 weeks of ads. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because in my mind it was like the ads would just keep on running. But no. It's
No.
just 2 or 3 weeks. That's
Yeah, because when YouTube started to skyrocket and it went very, very fast,
the engine is
actually
running.
my friend said, there's no need for the ads anymore. Like we could have kept the ads to get maybe some extra money, but my friend is a very practical guy where if money comes, even though it's less, I prefer less money, but no managing of ads and no managing of anything. So yeah.
Your cost to the cost of acquisition to a lifetime value is positive, then you just go absolutely.
Exactly.
But yeah, let's get you back to. I think we have a theme right here. We should just clip
kind of
all the sequences. We should just clip the entire stuff and see all the glasses that we use throughout this podcast. People are gonna love that. I love it. No, I lost my focus. What was my question? I just lost it, man. You
were on the cost of acquisition.
Yeah, I was on the cost of acquisition. So 75k made with this idea. Was there a mistake or multiple mistakes that, even though it was successful, there's something that you sort of didn't do right?
I think what I would have done better, what we would have done better, is to try different pricing. Because what happened was people were paying, but at no point we were like, you know what? We should actually increase the pricing to see if people continue to pay, because that would have made us go up to the point where we know that how can I say? There's like a curve where, let's say you have 1,000 people paying €5, so that's 5,000. So
Mm.
then you'll be thinking, okay, what if I put it at €10? If I put at €10, I only need 500 people to make 5,000, right? Which means you need, let's say, twice less effort. Let's say it like that. Oh, I think something went
No,
wrong.
that's me. That's me. That's me. I wanted to
Okay,
give you
okay.
your the full stuff so people can see your gestures and everything.
So the thing is, you have to find this curve. You have to find the point where the price is too high and that you don't have enough sales, which means you have to lower it to the point where it's better to be under that price point. So I think I would have done that at the time. We didn't do it. We were like, oh, crazy, people are buying, so let's leave it at €5 and $5, and that's it. But actually, the better thing would have been to increase it little by little until we see a monthly drop, like total drop, and we'll be like, okay, let's reverse because now the price of the service is too big for the value we give compared to what people see.
Ah, totally get
That
it.
will, that will be the biggest mistake, I think.
Mm, totally get it. Totally get it.
But
Um,
on that project, I'm sorry, I I cut you off. Sorry.
no,
What I
no, go
wanted
ahead.
to add,
I was.
what I wanted to add is that on that project, for me, everything else was perfect. I put a quote on perfect. What I mean by that is that what also I think created the success was we were very fast on the execution. I didn't overkill it. I made an app in 3 days, no backend, no whatever, because there's no backend needed. So I didn't have to be thinking, oh, I need to do like a complex backend and put some microservice and put some scaling, whatever. Nothing of that, because this is what I call rich people problems. And also it's out of scope with the value I'm giving. The value I was giving is that I'm just reading a stuff. It's like any developer can do that. I was just reading a zip, showing it. But people are not paying because I'm showing a zip. People are paying for the difficulty of knowing how to read the data. So that's actually what you're doing. And people actually often confuse both. They confuse the difficulty of making the app and the difficulty and the pain felt by the user. Someone can feel a big pain that you can resolve with very easy tech. And sometimes very hard tech, very difficult tech, doesn't even solve a difficult pain. I don't know if you see what I mean.
Oh
For
no, hundred
example,
percent, 100%. And sometimes the stuff that you build, let's say, costs you $1,000 to run, and you're solving a $10 problem. It's like,
exactly. Exactly.
yeah.
So for me, when you find your problem, you need to know where are the shortcuts, and I mean that in a good way, not in a bad way, as in, oh, let's take shortcuts. In a good way, as in, what are the decisions I can make that gives more benefit than more pros than cons. So,
Mm.
for example, no backend. What does no backend mean in that project? I had no backend. So, for people who are not technical, no backend means when someone was paying, I had actually no real way to know if they paid because there's no backend. So when they paid, what I did was when you tell Stripe to pay something, Stripe can redirect. You can tell Stripe to redirect to a page. So what I did was if the person is redirected to that page, I consider that he paid. But the thing is, it's very easy to cheat because if you know that success page, you only need to go to the success page manually, and the app thinks you paid. But for me, that problem is way lower than the pros of having no backend to manage and shipping very fast. Because Mr. Everyone, like a regular person, doesn't know enough about tech to know, hey, oh, maybe he didn't add some backend, so maybe I can find in the code where's the success page. Yeah, regular person doesn't know that. Only a developer would know how to do that. And a developer would already know how to read a zip file. So he doesn't need my app. So he's not my target. So among my target, how many percentage of people can actually hack it? Only a few. So it was more pro than a con.
100% agree. And this goes down to two things I like to say to my clients is number one, you cannot improve what you don't measure. And so your entire analytic stuff and like see how people behave, that's the most essential thing. Like a lot of people, they build stuff but they don't measure, or they just do things like you said SaaS is a game of effort, but you don't measure your effort. So how can you improve? And the second thing is I noticed this with I took a developer to a user conversation, and so I said, let me let me run the conversation and tell me what you think about this. And so what happened was I was conversation with the potential user, asking questions, how what was their problem, what was their struggle, and stuff like that. And then we closed the call, and then I sort of debriefed with the developer, and I remember his reaction was, "Wait, that's what they want? They just want this? I was about to build something that big. They just want this? That why? Like why don't they want that crazy big thing?" And I was like, "Yeah, but because they don't even know it exists. They don't even know it's possible." And so a lot of mistakes I see with developers is we're trying to build the best thing and we don't know how far away the customer is because we think as developers, and so we're not in the right direction. So absolutely, I love that story. I love that story of yours. um I guess he went, you
No,
disappeared
no,
from the
no. I'm
scene.
here. I'm here. Can you hear me?
I guess you yeah, I had a feeling that you were gonna get the Akatsuki outfit, so I kind of sense that. Let me just pop in a
No.
comment here.
Yeah.
I agree that it's important to test your pricing. Oh, so we have a question for you. The question is, how do you go about it properly? So it's important to test the pricing, but how do you go about it properly? Isn't lowering your price a bad sign for customers? Doesn't it devalue the product or changing it regularly? So really, really cool questions about the pricing. Um, we're gonna save that for until he comes back, and I'm just gonna use that little apart, this little pause to say, hey, this is live for a couple of more minutes. So if you have any questions, if you want to interact with us, drop a little message in the comments. For my francophones and for my French listening to this, I hope it's not too hard for y'all. J'espère que c'est dur à comprendre pour vous. Mais balancez vos questions en français s'il le faut, je les traduirai. So yeah, just drop your questions in French for those who are watching in French, and we'll make sure we translate this into English. And let's get back to the session.
Yeah.
Man,
Let's. I'm sorry. I have an issue with my camera, but it's okay. I'll just answer to the question before I get back to the camera. Um,
yeah,
So, can you actually show back the question on, yeah, on the screen? Perfect. For me, so Jeremy, the question you're asking is very relevant, and it's always relevant to the situation. For me, pricing testing is something you do at the beginning of the project. So actually, what when you say, isn't people gonna feel bad about the price changing all the time? The price would only change for new people. People, I mean, if I'm a customer of your app already and I'm already paying a price, I'm not going to go to your pricing page every day to see if you change something. So I would almost never know that you changed the price. I'll be on the old price. Or maybe I'm someone who churned already. So if I churned, it doesn't matter that the price has changed. Because when you're testing your price, it means you're actually in the phase of really finding your product market fit. So it doesn't really matter that the price changes. Now, about price changes, there's one rule that's very hard. That's true. It's very, very easy to put a higher price than to lower it. Because when you put a higher price, people who bought it cheap would be like, oh, I got a cheaper price, blah, blah. And if you lower it, of course, people who came back a long time after would be like, oh, I paid my blah, blah. But you shouldn't care because at some point you will find the average price that works. And if you have to, you can just give a discount to people who complain. You only need to be concerned by actual people who complained, but not the others who maybe could complain but actually do not complain. Only care about people who complain. And for me, it's because you're in this testing phase. Also, the testing phase should be done, like with care. You're not going to change like every minute, every hour, change your price. You always want to try a new price for some time frame, check how it goes, and then see how it goes. So you could also even A/B test for people who want to go very far. You could A/B test, but A/B testing works when you have a lot of traffic. If you don't have a lot of traffic, A/B testing for me is not like something very accurate, because if you have like 100 people visiting and you put an A/B test, and you have like, let's say 30 people doing this, 70 people doing that, on 100 people, it's maybe like not the best way to test it, for example. So yeah, that's what I would say on that. Well, I think your mic is cut off.
So again, I was mute myself. So people are getting warmed up with questions. So let me drop you another one. Um, are you building or updating any SaaS business with AI agents? If yes, any tips to publish as fast as possible to reduce the time to market?
So my main SaaS, like my biggest SaaS, Teach Easy, I definitely do some edits with AI, but I do it very carefully because it's an ongoing SaaS that already pre-existed before the era of AI. Now, new SaaS apps that I tried to launch, definitely some of them I made them like 100% AI with no human touch. And usually, I would say this: to go the quickest to the market, this is my framework. Let's say I find an idea. So for me, first, okay, well, you know what? Give me 5 minutes. Let me come back to the camera. Give me 5 minutes. Oh, your mic is cut off again. When the night's closing in, you remind me. When I'm lost in the maze, need a word for these days. I just call, I just raise every question that I've been saving. And the answer comes on time, peace that settles in my mind. Wisdom on a holy line, got my faith awakened. Chanting the amazing advisor, leading every step I take higher. When I'm weak, you light my fire. I'm chanting the amazing advisor, speaking to my soul's provider. Forever you're my one desire. When the night's closing in, you remind me. When I'm lost in the maze, need a word for these days. I just call, I just raise every question that I've been saving. And the answer comes on time, peace that settles in my mind. Wisdom on a holy line, got my faith awakened. Chanting the amazing advisor, leading every step I take higher. When I'm weak, you light my fire. I'm chanting the amazing advisor, speaking to my soul's provider. Forever you're my one desire. When the night's closing in, you remind me. When I'm lost in the maze, need a word for these days. I just call, I just raise every question that I've been saving. And the answer comes on time, peace that settles in my mind. Wisdom on a holy line, got my faith awakened. Chanting the amazing advisor, leading every step I take higher. When I'm weak, you light my fire. I'm chanting
word for these days. Hey, I just call, I just raise every question that I've been saving. And the answer comes on time. Peace that settles in my mind. Wisdom on a holy line. Got my faith awakened. Chanting the amazing advisor. Leading every step I take higher. When I'm weak, you light my fire. I'm chanting the amazing advisor. Speaking to my soul's provider. Forever you're my one desire. When the night's closing in, you remind me. When I'm lost in the maze, need a word for these days. I just call, I just raise every question that I've been saving. And the answer comes on time. Peace that settles in my mind. Wisdom on a holy line. Got my faith awakened. Chanting the amazing advisor. Leading every step I take higher. When I'm weak, you light my fire. I'm chanting the amazing advisor. Speaking to my soul's provider. Forever you're my one desire. When the night's closing in, you remind me. When I'm lost in the maze, need a word for these days. I just call, I just raise every question that I've been saving. And the answer comes on time. Peace that settles in my mind. Wisdom on a holy line. Got my faith awakened. Chanting the amazing advisor. Leading every step I take higher. When I'm weak, you light my fire. I'm chanting the amazing advisor. Speaking to my soul's provider. Forever you're my one desire. When the night's closing in, you remind me. When I'm lost in the maze, need a word for these days. I just call, I just raise every question that I've been saving. And the answer comes on time. Peace that settles in my mind. Wisdom on a holy line. Got my faith awakened. Chanting the amazing advisor. Leading every step I take higher. When I'm weak, you light my fire. I'm chanting the amazing advisor. Speaking to my soul's provider. Forever you're my one desire. When the night's closing in, you remind me. When I'm lost in the maze, need a word for these days. I just call, I just raise every question that I've been saving. And the answer comes on time. Peace that settles in my mind. Wisdom on a holy line. Got my faith awakened. Chanting the amazing advisor. Leading every step I take higher. When I'm weak, you light my fire. I'm chanting.
Ah, we're back.
Boom, we're back. Sorry, it's all my fault. I received the memo. YouTube and X told us we were giving away too much power with our glasses battle that we just broke the stream. That's on us. We'll be careful next time. All right. So let's get back to where we were. If you're just watching this, welcome to the live session. We have a couple more minutes, and let's get back to the last questions that we had. I think it was about AI or stuff like that. Let me get back
Yeah,
to
it
it.
was about how to ship fast with AI. So I took my best glasses to answer this. So basically, like I was saying, the thing is, for me, you can ship very fast with AI, but it's not about AI or not AI. My whole process is like this. When I want to build something, first I will be like, okay, what's the problem I want to solve? So I'll find it. I'll try to go to the core of the problem. Then for who, then when you have the who and you have the what, you mix them together, that's a niche. So you found your niche, then you think of your idea for that niche. Okay, you got it. Now you go down and you start thinking about what's the main feature that you only need to prove that the problem is solved, partially at least, but to prove it and to go test it with people. Then you can think about like a few other features, but the main feature, that's the most important. And for me, that's what you have to build in priority to go fast. If you go that way, you will always build fast. What makes people not build fast is that they take too much time on stuff that doesn't really matter. Like they'll be thinking about, oh, what about this small button here? Maybe it's going to make a difference. No, in the beginning, for your 10, 20, maybe 30 first users, doesn't make any difference. Your whole goal is to see, is the problem they have a real problem? So you only need to focus mostly on the feature that makes the problem solved. So if we take back, for example, the microsas I did, the reader thing, I could have added a bunch of other stuff. I could have added some like statistics or like an account system where you can have the history of every zip file you put or everything. I didn't do that. I didn't do that because I was like, it's a subject where the problem they have, they're only gonna have it most of the time once in their life. So that's why my SaaS, no subscription, no nothing. Flat price, you pay it, you have your results, you go away. Because I knew that spending too much time on, okay, but how do I make it a subscription? How do I create this account so they have a history? It doesn't matter because a problem, it's like you were saying before, it's a $10 problem. A $10 problem, you don't want to spend too much time on it. You do what people see like value and you go quick. So that's the way for me to build fast. Think of your problem, think of your niche with the target. Target problem equals niche. You have it, build the core feature, the only core, and just build like a minimum viable brand. So what I mean by that is just an easy thing to remember, like an easy name. Usually this is how I do for my names. I take a name that have easy syllables to say, and I'll check that name when I type it on Google in the country of my target, nothing appears. Like when I say nothing, I mean like unrelated stuff. Like don't try to be a startuper that have a name like Claude. Claude in France is a very famous first name. Don't try to be called Claude if you're an indie hacker with self-funding. Don't do this kind of stuff. That is good for people who are startups who have tons of money, shit of money. Don't call yourself Manus like the Chinese app. They have the money to do that. You don't have the money. Think of names that have easy syllables to say, and that on social media and on Google in the country of the people you're targeting don't have that much results. That's the minimum viable branding you need. Choose one color, one main color. That's it. One main color, random logo, a good name. That's it.
Boom. I love it. I love it. Let's get to the next question. Are you building, updating SaaS? Okay, so this one. Any tips to publish as fast as possible to reduce time to market from ideas to profit? Maybe it was like two questions in one and he split it into that.
For me, yeah, to reduce the time to market is I would say there's two bottleneck that makes time to market be slow. Is the fact that people spend too much time on branding. Like I said, forget that. Unless you're targeting people in the artsy or design space, you don't need to have like a great design. Regular people don't care about your design. And then the second thing is, like I said, people spend too much time on building a lot of features. So there's branding and features. Don't do a lot of features. Focus on the main feature. Don't try to become Facebook on day one. Just be a chat app on day one. And for the branding, don't try to be like Airbnb like they are today, which is amazing branding. No, be Airbnb when they started, which means a very basic design where you would throw up if you would look at it today.
I love this.
That's the major two
I love
things.
this. Love it. Let me drop you another question. Boom. I mean, people are on fire, so I like that. Okay, let's get back to the classics. I think we just invented something. The 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 glasses battle during the podcast. I think this is something new. Okay, so the question. Let's get back to the question. Sorry. How can I effectively target my future customer? Where can you find and approach them in the best way? And this is the so let me just add on top of that. This is probably one of the top 5 questions I get all the time is how do I get my first 10 to 100 customers? Basically, right? What's your take on that?
My take on that is basically people, I think, overthink what they need to do. So let's go back to the beginning of the live where I said, let's say someone is coming to your house to eat dinner. You want to create the best dish for them. So you want a secret, but there's no secret if you don't know who's the guest. The secret and the best way to do it depends on the guest. So, like, let's say Jeremy is asking, okay, how to get the first ones to where to go talk to them. If I tell you, for example, okay, my secret is Facebook. Facebook, you can find them, all of them. That would be actually false because that would not be true because it depends on your target. If your target is Michelin star restaurant owners, basically, I don't think you're going to find them easily on Facebook. Maybe 10 years ago, today, I'm not sure. So it actually depends. So let's say, okay, let's say you want to create a SaaS for restaurant owners. The best place for me to find them is to go where restaurant owners hang out. So if it's like a small type of restaurant, there's a high chance in the US, for example, they still hang out on Facebook. There's a high chance. If it's like a small restaurant, like neighborhood restaurants, there's a high chance because in the US, people still go a lot on Facebook and Facebook Marketplace. So that's a great way to go target them. You go on Facebook Marketplace, you try to find the small restaurant trying to do his advertisement, there. You DM him, hey, bro, I have this, blah, 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 blah. Now, let's say you're targeting mid-tier restaurant. So mid-tier restaurant, I doubt heavily that they go on Facebook Marketplace to try to promote the restaurant. What they do ads. So if they do ads, go on Facebook ads library. It's something people don't really know. It's like a collection of all the ads running right now on Facebook. Right now, you go there, you type restaurants.
Running and past. You can even go to the ones that are not active anymore. So yeah,
exactly,
it's the entire library of ads. Yeah.
Exactly. Facebook ads library. So it's like a free website. You go there, you type restaurant. You see people doing ads. If they are doing ads and if the ads are still active and they're old, the best intersection is someone who has an ad still active and that was at least 6 months old. 6 months old, still active means the ads is working, which means they are printing money. If they're printing money, you can contact them because they are a good target. So that means you go there. You can find mid-tier restaurants who are doing ads. Now, if you're targeting very high-end restaurants, they can do ads, but it will be not the same kind of ads. So where you need to go is where do people who have high-tier restaurant hang out? Maybe they hang out at events for high-tier restaurants. So you go at events, you'll be like, yeah, but events is physical. Yeah, no, it's physical, but that's the job. Your whole job is to go get customers. You go to the events, you'll be the only non-restaurant guy. So you have tons of customers who go talk to you. Be like, hey, hello. Oh, so what are you doing at this event? Oh, you have a restaurant. Oh, which one? Actually, oh, what about you? When they will say, what about you? You'll be like, actually, I don't have a restaurant. I'm just like interested in the restaurant space because these days I'm building blah, blah, blah. The goal is not to sell it. The goal is to talk about it without selling it. So people will be like, oh, so what do you do here? Are you planning to have a restaurant? Are you planning to open one? Not really. I'm trying to understand more of the space because I'm building this app that's doing this. And the person naturally, most of the time, will ask you, oh, really? So what's the app about? Like, what are you solving? And then that's where you start. So events, groups, ads, the whole goal is to think, where does this person hang out? Now, I know when I say that, there's always people who be like, yeah, it's too theoretical. I want practical stuff. Like I said, I can give you something that will maybe not work for you, and you'll be thinking, like, oh, it doesn't work. He said it doesn't work. That's why it's based on who you want to target. I gave you the real secret sauce is knowing the knowledge, the method of how to target, not the technique. Technique always changes. Like the techniques always change. The method is something that stays the whole time. So now let's go to a few techniques that you could use right away. Communities. So that includes Facebook, Discord, Reddit. For me, you go on Facebook, you try to find, is there a Facebook group about my target? So if you're targeting, like I said, restaurant, try to type restaurant owners, filter by groups, see if you find some. Go on Discord, try to find if you find some Discord channel about restaurants. Go on Reddit, try to search questions that you want to solve. So if you're solving, for example, if you're making an app that's an AI voice to take calls in a restaurant because restaurant owners don't have enough people to take the calls, maybe you could go on Reddit and try to find questions like missing call, like restaurant missing call or restaurant not answering or stuff like that. You'll be putting the keyword restaurant and call or phone or missing or booking or more customers, stuff like that. Your goal is to go find a thread, a Reddit thread, where the person who posted is a restaurant, or even sometimes better, actually, you find a lot of like customers of restaurant complaining. So customers of your customer, that's what I mean, complaining. You take that list and you go to a physical place where there's your target. You go to the physical restaurant. Hello, blah, blah, blah. How are you? So actually, I'm doing a lot of research these days about restaurant. Do you have 5 minutes to talk? Yeah, sure. Well, what is it about? So I've been going on Reddit, and a lot of people have been complaining about this in restaurants. Do you have this issue? I'm actually just doing a poll about which restaurant is having this issue. And then naturally people want to answer, because the thing is, if you come to the restaurant, hey, I'm selling this app, people don't want to answer, people don't want to talk to you. They'll be like, he wants to sell me something. But if you're coming and saying, hey, I'm doing this poll or this research about restaurants and how they work, is different, because you come as a journalist, as someone who wants their help, and people love helping. People are like, sometimes they don't even know how to help, but they still want to help you. So when you ask someone for their help, they can sometimes take time, especially when in the way you ask the help, you put them on a pedestal. If you put them on the pedestal, they'll be like, oh yeah, sure, I'm a restaurant owner. Sure, I can answer your questions. Yeah, I've been having this restaurant for like 5 years. And before you know it, the person's telling you his whole life. And that's what you want. So like I said, number one, communities, Reddit, Facebook, Discord. But sometimes you could also just find a specialized forum about what you do. For example, like example I can give you is this. Let's say you're a very big fan of cars, and maybe you've been in the car forum for years, and you found an idea about cars. The best place to go to talk to people would be that forum, because you're already there, you're already part of the team. People maybe already saw a few comments of yours, and that forum only talks about cars. So that's the right place. So that's number one, communities. Number two is find people who are running ads, like we said. Facebook library. You have another one called, I think you have the one for Pinterest, maybe. You have different type of libraries like that. You just find some ads libraries that exist. TikTok ads library, whatever. Or the other way to do that also is just to go yourself on TikTok or whatever app, scroll until you see the ads of what you want to look for. And then you can contact the people directly. Number three is taking Google Maps and typing the person you're looking for. So what I mean by Google Maps, I'll even put it in a general category that we'll call listing apps. Take a listing app and go there. So let's say you're looking for like a car, like a mechanic, because you want to sell them a SaaS. Go on Google Map. You find some of them. You find the address, you find the email or the phone number, you call or you send an email. That's it. LinkedIn for me is the same thing. LinkedIn is a listing site. So for me, you go on LinkedIn, you find your persona. Let's say you want to target freelancers. Then you go on the freelancer website, Fiverr, whatever. Then you contact them as if you were contacting like as a gig, but it's actually not for a gig. It's actually to talk to them about, hey, can we have a quick interview because blah, blah, blah. Of course, you have to find the fine line between misleading them, thinking you're not going to sell something, but being clear enough that you're not a customer ready to pay yet. Because if not, they'll feel like you just made them waste their time, which is not the best. But for example, you could start with a question, an open question, which could seem like you're a customer, but is open enough to be thinking, oh no, he was not a customer, but he wanted to know this and blah blah. So yeah, listing websites, communities, and ads.
Boom. That's it. You have the rule, and I 100% agree with you on what you said at the beginning, which is people would say, "Hey, this is too generic." Um, that point. I mean, the best way to succeed is to adapt your strategy specifically to your business sector, who you're trying to target, and stuff like that. For me, the example I always use is if we take the Pokemon analogy. It's like you guys are telling us, hey, how can I capture Pokemons? And I'm like, wait, which one do you want to get? Like, I cannot give you specific strategies if you're asking me you want to capture the how many are there, like 1000 Pokemons? I'm like, I don't know. Like, but if you come to us and say, hey, I want to capture an electric or water Pokemon in the region of whatever, then we can dilute it down and say, okay, for this specific kind of goal, this is what you need to do. And if we use that same analogy, like if in your mind you want to capture a water, you won't go into the mountains. Like, unless there's a lake there, it makes no sense, right? You want to go where water is so you can get a water Pokemon. And so it's the same thing. If your ideal customer restaurants, ask yourself, where do they hang out virtually and in the real life? And just go there, because this is where they are. Don't expect them to magically find you on in the world of internet, because it doesn't work like that. Yep. This time you are muted.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. I was saying exactly.
Absolutely, guys. If you have any more questions, we're probably gonna stay a couple more minutes. Um, how much time do you have left? Because I don't want to hold you forever.
I would say 20 minutes left. Yeah.
Okay, so let's make it 10. So you have 10 more minutes. 10 more minutes, guys. If you want to ask us a couple of other questions, so you can get insights for building your SaaS and stuff like that, let us know. In the meantime, I want to know, what is it that you're building? What's your current activity? If you want to share some of the stuff with us, I'm all ears.
Um, yeah, so currently I'm still working on my main SaaS, the biggest one. So that one actually I didn't share like how we got our first customers. I could share it pretty simply. So for example, this one, when we got the idea was actually something like, scratch your own itch. So we had this training company where we would train people in other companies. And at some point we wanted to create a boot camp. Boot camp failed. We lost tons of money. And then because of COVID mostly. And then what happened was this. We were thinking, because of COVID and because people were in their house, we need to find a way to make the course. How would we do that online? So at the time, Zoom is booming. Everyone's focusing on live, like live trainings. The thing is, you can do a 7 hour in real life training and people will be okay. But 7 hours on Zoom is so exhausting. So we were like, Zoom is not the way. The way is a mix between like a few sessions of Zoom and a few sessions of self-service, learning. So that's why we wanted to create our own like tool to create this boot camp we were creating. And after that, I was like, you know what? Instead of creating the boot camp, the tool for the boot camp, let's just create a tool for anyone who wants to create their own online course in a very easy way and for the French ecosystem. So I had my idea, solving a problem I had, and for specific targets, French customers who have this legal issue, which is how to make online courses that are official. So that's the target we took. We had our target, we had our problem, boom, we had a niche. Now, how do we get our customers? Before even building, I created like a lead magnet, which was a form asking people, hey, what would be the ideal tool for you as a person who's transitioning to, online courses? And I went to distribute that form in many Facebook groups. like tons of Facebook groups of teachers, people who said I'm a teacher. Like there's tons of them. So I went inside those, gave it, and because it's a form, yeah, tell me.
When you reach out to Facebook groups, do you specifically create a new account with your product, or you do that with your
No,
personal account?
I did it with my personal account for two reasons. Number one, creating a whole new account is actually very time consuming. I mean, at the time a bit less, but today very time consuming because Facebook asks you for like a KYD, no KYC, sorry, KYC,
Yeah,
and
KYC.
they ask you for so much stuff. It's too
Yeah.
long, so it's just easier to take your own account. And in my case, because it's a scratch your own itch, my account actually was already in a few teacher groups because I was a teacher myself. I was a trainer myself. So it made more sense. So I went in those groups. You can, but even if you do it with a personal Facebook account, you could like only choose like private groups. If you're scared of people who look, your friends seeing whatever, you can go to private groups. When you're in a private group, when you post, the post is not seen by people outside of the group. So, doesn't matter. So you go there. I went there. I distributed the form, and because the form is asking for help, most people were like, "Okay." I gathered like around 80 emails with that. Then I did like a landing page, like a pre-launch page. Those pre-launch pages, I went to distribute them on Instagram. So I went on Instagram. I DM'd a bunch of people. Now the question is, who did I DM? Very simple. My future customers, my prospects are trainers, teachers. So I went on Instagram and I just typed trainer, teacher, and I saw the profiles that came. And I wrote it in French, of course. And then I had all the profiles that took the time to write those words in their bio. So which means I took my time to find like a few words, like maybe like 10 words about my ecosystem. And I wrote those words in Instagram. I found some profiles. I just manually DM everyone. And through that, I probably got around, let's say 50 to 60 emails also. And then I did a beta launch. So when I got the form results already, I was like, okay, you know what? This idea sounds good. Let's go. So I created it with my associate. Then in around September of the same year, we went to other Facebook groups and also DMs and asked people if they wanted to be like beta testers. So a lot of people came in the beta, and I forgot how many people we had, but overall, the beta, the pre-launch, and the form got us overall 300 emails, which was way more than enough to know that we're going to launch and everything. And so the day of the launch, what happens is all the beta testers, we clear the accounts, and then we launched a newsletter to those 300 emails. And that was pretty much it. And then, so that was the first strategy, lead magnet. Second strategy was that in the app, we had an affiliate system so people could bring more customers to us and get paid. Other thing, we did like SEO from day one. We did SEO from day one, and we targeted like keywords of our ecosystem where we have more leverage. So keywords like some competitors who had only English as a language, we would target their name and make content around them, for example, stuff like that. So that was the few things we did: affiliates, SEO, lead magnets, and then maybe after a year, we started to do Google Ads, which was the best thing for us because we wanted to target people who are already in the research of it and not targeting people who would see like a random Facebook ad and be like, oh, okay, maybe I should start to learn how to do an online course. That's actually interesting. When you make a SaaS, for me, there's always two type of people you can go to find. You can try to find, I would say, beginners. And when you do ads or marketing to beginners, the whole marketing will be about making them believe the tool is going to solve the problem for them. I'm not a big fan of this kind of marketing strategy, but it works. It's effective. And that's what most, like, I would say, B2B apps for like individual, like indie B2B, that's what most of them do. Like if you look at, I don't know, things like Hicksfield. So Hicksfield is for Higgsfield, some people could say Higgsfield is for B2C, but for me, no, Higgsfield is actually B2B. It's just that it's the indie B2B, most of them, like, content creators, course creators, whatever. And the way Higgsfield will do it was like every ad of Higgsfield will make you think, oh my God, so it's so easy. You're going to become millionaire making your AI avatar, blah, blah, blah. That's a way to target only beginners. And then you have the other part of the market where you want to target people who aren't beginners. So you need to target them on intent or to target them on some emotion about something they need, which means when you target someone that is a beginner, ads like Facebook, like what I would call passive ads. So ads where people didn't want to see the ads, but they got it. That's a passive ad. That works more for beginners. But when you want like high intense people who are not beginners, like active ads is the best. So active ads is like ads showing up on Google search, ads showing up on Pinterest search, stuff like that. Yeah.
There you go, guys. You have the full master plan. It's all about executing it now. And this is where most people sort of fall. Like, the information is out there, the knowledge is out there. It's like, as you said in the beginning of the session, it's putting the effort, really putting the effort to do the stuff. And the the harder it is to do, the less competition you have, and so the more chances of standing out you have of getting it out there. Your image froze. I don't know if it's me. Can Okay, I got you. You muted, but I now I see you back. Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Nah, no worries. Cool. Excellent, excellent. Let's just close with this. Where can we find you? How can we reach out to you?
Twitter is probably the easiest way to reach out. I don't really post in English, but now you have on Twitter, now you have on X, you have the auto translate. So if you guys want to follow me, even what I say in French, you can just auto translate and see me there. I'll probably do a few posts in English from time to time, but most of the time I tweet, I post in French. And YouTube, I guess YouTube also have now the auto translate, so the dubbing, so you can check that.
Yes, and to all my francophones, if you are looking for really quality content around SaaS, building stuff, entrepreneurship, and which is your first language or second language, check out his YouTube channel. It's really, really good content. And that being said, I'll just give you the final word. Maybe we can just switch glasses one last time for the conclusion.
Let's go for the conclusion.
Ooh, okay. So you're going hard. Let me just grab these ones.
I'm going back to the Matrix.
Oh,
Do you want the
you
red pill or the blue pill?
okay. Um, I want both. Let me just go with my fiery then. Okay, fiery. Okay, final words.
Final word, I would say, guys, just try to, guys and girls, of course, we never forget the girls, the women in tech also that are here. Um, Try to know who you are and know what you want. I think that's the most important. People would not really necessarily see what I mean now and how it relates to business. But for me, the more you know who you are, the more you know what you want, the more effective you will be in business because you will let your ego out of your way on some stuff because you now finally know what you really want and will not be obsessed about stuff that doesn't really matter. That would be my final words.
Boom.